In this edition of the National Local Government Customer Service Network broadcast, we're going to be bringing you Suzanne Patterson. She's the Customer Service Manager at Hobsons Bay. They are a terrific council. In fact, I went down and visited them myself after the conference. They're doing great things, they're very innovative, and I think they're a council to watch. What Susan talked about was she talked about the way that they've put their customer service team together. Not just a team, but what they're able to do there. They're able to do so many interesting things. And one of the things I'm going to ask you to particularly look out for web chat. Suzanne spoke to us about web chat and how they did it, and hopefully you'll be able to see how we did that at the conference. Enjoy Suzanne's presentation.
Thank you, everyone, and good morning. And I'm going to try and do this without my glasses because it's one of my life stages and a challenge that I've found wearing glasses when I'm presenting. It's very distracting, but bear with me if you see me swapping and changing. I'm really thrilled to be here, so thank you very much for the invitation, and I hope that our story is something that you find interesting. If you don't mind, pardon me, I'd like to just start off by digressing, but there is a segue. If you can bear with me for this little story about something that happened to me last weekend. I was at Flemington. I'm a race goer and love my races, but I also love my champagne, which you'll hear about as we go down. And for some reason I'm not moving, so I'm going to have to put my glasses back on. Anyway, while I'm fiddling, I'll just explain. We have a little group of friends that go to the races and have a little watch the races, but also have a little drink and enjoy ourselves. Now, I'm going to refer to it as champagne. It's actually Australian sparkling, but for those of you who are true wine lovers, please excuse me. I went up to purchase a bottle of sparkling, and the one that I normally get and I asked for was not presented to me. A different one came back to me, and I explained to the bartender that that wasn't the one I was wanting, and it's actually it was on the list, and could he please go and find it? And to cut to the chase, after much argy-bargy, he insisted that this was the same champagne. They'd changed the label, and it was actually a very different champagne. It was also it cost less than the one that I was purchasing, but he was going to charge me the $60 that I wanted. So it went back and forth. It was a busy day. The race was on Friday for us. It was an Anzac Day event. And so I thought, look, I just didn't really, I was a bit embarrassed, but I thought, let's move on, and I'll speak about this later on. Anyway, I went back to my table, bought the bottle for $60, which was really only 48, it should have only been 48, and went back to my table, and I had my iPad there because it's actually quicker to look up the odds on your iPad than it is to look up on the board. And I thought, Anyway, I was really cross, so I just hopped on and got onto the VRC website, sent an email explaining what had happened and my annoyance. And actually, it was quite articulate what I wrote, as you can imagine. But actually, got it out of my system. Thought, great. Then packed the iPad away. I thought, I'm not even going to use it for odds anymore, and just got on with having a good day. Then my phone rang, and it was this voice that said, "Hello, Suzanne. My name's Reese. I'm from the VRC. Are you still at the track?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "I was wondering if I could come and have a talk to you about the champagne incident." And I said, "I'd love that." So straight away, my annoyance went from being very annoyed to actually I was quite delighted. In fact, when I sent that email off, I just expected perhaps a cursory, comment on Monday. I didn't expect anybody to call me, let alone come and see me. And the upshot of the story is he agreed. He apologised. He agreed. Came back with a drinks voucher, and on top of that, he was very handsome. So, where the segue is we're all multi-channel users. Basically, I started off in the face-to-face situation, I took it online. He used a telephone, got back to me, and came back with another face-to-face situation. So our lives have changed with the advent of technology. We just have to get on board and use it, and hopefully some of our stories from Hobsons Bay will resonate with your stories at your councils. Anyway, the other thing is they're going to try and find my champagne again, so as I said, I'd like to share what, I better keep using this too. So, some of the things that we've been doing are probably very similar to what most of you are doing. And as Rum said, we are a beautiful, picturesque seaside municipality based just 15 minutes from the centre of Melbourne. And it's one of the oldest areas of Melbourne. It contains a thriving retail and restaurant scene, in addition to the coastline, natural wetlands, and a significant flora and fauna. We are the local government authority, obviously, responsible for the area and employ approximately 770 staff to manage the area's infrastructure, development, planning, and delivery of community services. The council maintains a single primary office building and a range of community accessible buildings, including libraries, community centres, sporting venues, and a beautiful historic town hall. So it's probably very similar. Customer service staff were especially delighted with the new phone system as it's given them far more control over incoming queries, which in turn is leading to faster call resolution and happier customers. They also appreciate the availability of the technical support, which has helped us navigate any issues along the way. Across the organisation, presence management, so the ability to view information about the availability of staff members, has been eagerly adopted. It really is a big feature, and it's been added to such a level that and it's changed things to such a level that I can't really put an emphasis on it. And one example was where one of our areas, actually community care, were looking at purchasing an electronic whiteboard for indoor, outdoor, in and out sort of notifications, and we said, well, why aren't you using the contact centre or the company directory and updating your status notes? And all of a sudden it was like, God, and it saved them about $10,000, and it was like, there's a tool there right there and then where we've been able to make some changes and save some real money within other budgets. I just thought I'd tell you some of the examples of some of the queries that have come through the web chat, and it really has been across the gamut. There's been something as specific as a planning inquiry that might want to know, it was more of an urban planning issue that needed a specific answer. Hopefully we might get to a stage that, like a phone call, we can transfer that web chat, and we can do that. The system does allow it, but we need to have the confidence that our back of house staff are going to treat that precious call, contact with the same respect as we're handling it. So at this stage, I'm happy for them to give us the information and us to be the conduit. But then there's been obviously people at work who've we had a call, someone was travelling and they just wanted to know, did their disability parking permit, was it valid across Australia? So that, those type of general things that people ring up council for, they're web chatting for. We had a couple of kids doing school projects, and one of my coordinators said when she was hopping online one time, she said, I'm sure I did some kids' school school homework the other night for them. But yeah, it has been very, very interesting as to the degree of interest. Probably like every other council, we've got our social media. That sits in our comms areas. I would love it to sit in customer service because that's where I think it absolutely belongs. And I think we the social media queries that we get, we handle so much better than are handled in the other area, because that's all marketing. But it's kind of, I've got bigger fish to fry. But that could be one of the questions, right? How do you get things that you want back in your area?
Please, someone write that down. That's a really good question.
Yeah. There's things that you could value add.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
okay. So actually, I'll just move. These are the our next steps really that I think are some of the challenges that face us. Further down the track, we may consider whether there's a role for video conferencing. That would all be dependent on our bandwidth capacity to receive. No, bandwidth capacity of our residents to commute to us. It's one of those things, back in 2004 it seemed like a good idea. I don't know that people really want it. I don't know that it's as popular as everybody thinks, but we just need to sort of be ready to be open and prepared and kind of look at things when things start and say, okay, how does that impact on me? Because who would have thought, like certainly 5 years ago, we weren't predicting this type of growth in the industry for certainly customer service. I didn't see that it was going where it was going, and basically I think really what our responsibility is about servicing our customers is servicing them in the way which they want to be contacted or want to contact us. So it's not about us saying this is how we're going to do it. It's about us saying how do you want to speak to us. So if there's any other questions, I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, as I said, I'm really happy to show you our online stuff and also some of our snapshots of things.
Thanks for watching our broadcast on the National Local Government Customer Service Network channel. I hope you got lots of hints and tips and tricks that you can use at your council. The case studies were great, the information's been great. I hope you're enjoying it, and don't forget to visit our website. See you next time.